AI controls. Control B.9 and the newest control in the framework, because this risk barely existed 3 years ago. It is also the one where the breach does not look like a breach. It looks like someone doing good work. Here's the case that proves it. March 2023. Samsung lifts its internal ban on ChatGPT for semiconductor engineers, after pressure from staff who wanted the productivity. The instruction that came with it was, essentially, be careful with company information. Within 3 weeks, 3 separate incidents were reported internally. Samsung reimposed the ban. And none of the data could be retrieved. Here is what actually happened. One engineer pasted source code from a database into ChatGPT and asked it to find the bugs. A second entered confidential source code for Samsung's own equipment and asked for optimization. A third recorded a confidential internal meeting and used an AI tool to generate summary notes. Under the terms of service at the time, those inputs could be used to train future models. But notice what the real failure is. Not one of those 3 employees was trying to break the rules. The first wanted to find bugs. The second wanted cleaner code. The third wanted useful meeting notes. Every one of them got the productivity gain they were after. The data protection loss was completely invisible at the moment it happened. The failure was organizational. Access was granted before any policy existed, there were no technical controls, and there was no approved internal alternative. Be careful is not a control. So what are AI controls? They are the governance around how AI tools touch your data. An approved tool register. A usage policy tied to your data classification scheme. Technical enforcement where it is possible. And vendor assessment of the platforms that are, after all, third parties processing your information. The risks stack up quickly. Confidential data submitted to an external tool can become training data for a model that serves other people. Shadow AI staff using tools nobody approved or monitors creates data flows you cannot see. Hallucinated output gets acted on as fact in legal, financial and technical work. And on the offensive side, attackers use the same tools for far more convincing phishing, deepfake audio, and synthetic identity documents. At Samsung, the gaps were clear in hindsight. No AI usage policy before access was granted, defining what categories of information could never be submitted. No technical controls, no DLP rules covering AI platform destinations at all. Training that communicated the productivity imperative clearly and the data risk only as vague caution, with no concrete examples. And no approved internal alternative, so employees faced a binary choice between productivity with external tools, or no AI at all. So what does good look like? A documented policy naming approved tools, prohibited uses, and personal accountability kept current, because this landscape changes monthly. That policy tied directly to your data classification, so people know that confidential and restricted never goes to an external tool, and enforced technically where you can. DLP rules and proxy policies covering known AI platform domains. An approved enterprise AI environment that gives people the productivity without the data leaving a corporate tenant with enterprise data protection, or a private deployment that does not train on your data. And a register of AI tools in use, with vendor assessment applied to each one. How does an auditor test it? You request the AI usage policy and check that it exists, addresses data classification, and has genuinely been communicated, and you assess how current it is, given the pace of change. You review the approved tool register and confirm vendor assessments cover data handling, training practices, and data residency. You test whether DLP and web proxy rules actually address AI destinations. You review any AI-related incidents and whether a reporting mechanism exists for staff who think they may have shared something. And you confirm training reached the populations that handle the most sensitive material: engineering, legal, finance and strategy. 5 lessons. 1. Establish AI governance before you enable access. Samsung's grant then ban reversal was far more disruptive than setting the framework up front. 2. Extend your DLP rules to AI platform destinations, because your existing coverage was built for email, web upload and USB. 3. Deploy an approved enterprise AI environment, because blanket bans create competitive disadvantage and are never consistently enforced. 4. Review the AI tool landscape quarterly, since the list of available tools changes every month. And 5. Treat AI platforms as third parties. They are processing your data, so they need the same vendor assessment and contractual controls as any other significant supplier. AI controls is Control B.9 in the ITGC framework. I'm walking through every one with the breach that proves why it matters every week at marcoweb.org. Subscribe to get them in your inbox, and try the free ITGC audit tool.